Professor Server, the presidential elections in the United States will be held in a few days. According to the polls, they are expected to be extremely uncertain. What are your expectations?
The polls are showing neck and neck race. I don't believe it, to tell you the truth. I think Harris is going to win. I think she'll win big in the Electoral College. I know she'll win the popular vote. I mean, there's really never been any doubt about that. The Republicans can no longer win the popular vote in the United States because they've alienated too many people in New York, California, and other big states. But the Electoral College is where the president is decided, and it's a mechanism that gives more weight to states that support Trump than to states that support Harris. And so it's extremely difficult to predict the outcome in the Electoral College.
What can the region of the Balkans hope for, and what can it expect from a possible election of Kamala Harris or a second term of Donald Trump? And who do you see working with Trump? Do you see, for instance, Richard Grenell as the new Secretary of State if Trump wins?
We really have no idea what Harris thinks about the Balkans because, so far as I can tell, nobody has discovered even a single sentence that she has pronounced on the subject. Nevertheless, she is a strong rule of law, small d Democrat. That is, she believes in individual rights and in the rule of law. And that means what shall I say, in the Balkans, it could mean a reinforcement of traditional American policy, which supported democracy and human rights in all countries of the Balkans, and less support for ethno-nationalism. Under Trump, well, I think there are two things to it. First of all, I don't think Grenell will be Secretary of State, but he could certainly be an Assistant Secretary of State or something like that. And that would make a difference because Grenell has a clear record of support for ethnic partition in the Balkans. And so I think even the day after the election, if it goes for Trump, you could see instability in the Balkans as Serbia tries to take advantage of the situation to assert its hegemony in northern Kosovo and in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And that will lead to instability. I mean, that could, even before Inauguration Day or after, could lead to serious destabilization in the Balkans because there is no peaceful rearrangement of borders in the Balkans. Let's be clear about that. We have a lot of experience with people trying to rearrange borders in the Balkans, and it is never peaceful. So I think a Trump victory could lead to dramatic events in the Balkans, including for North Macedonia.
How do you view Trump's messages that if he wins, he will end the war in Ukraine? And what do you expect from Kamala Harris in that regard?
Well, Kamala Harris will clearly continue current support for Ukraine, but I think would probably expand it significantly, especially if the Democrats win both houses in the Congress. She has been unstinting in her support for Ukraine. And I think she probably will be a little bit less inhibited about it than Biden has been. Biden has shied away from longer range missiles and that kind of thing. If Trump is elected, he said very clearly he's going to cut a deal and end the war. The only deal that can be cut is to partition Ukraine. And that's part of what makes me predict, if I may, partition in the Balkans, because once Ukraine is partitioned, people in the Balkans will say, why not here as well? And those who want it, at least. So I think it's very clear that there's a big difference on Ukraine, a big difference in the Balkans, big differences on Taiwan, big differences on Africa, big differences in many areas of foreign policy.